चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Southern Division discussion. We have been discussing in the last few classes in the Vishaya Alaman, the qualities in the Vishaya, that is Sri Krishna. And the 64 qualities we discussed, 50 plus 5 plus 5, and then the last 64 qualities. And now Rupa Goswami is going into each of these qualities and giving scriptural proofs. So in the last few classes, we have been studying these qualities of Krishna, and we had also done a discussion on how, as one becomes highly qualified as a Madhyamadhikari, he develops these qualities, and then only he is actually practicing Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti. So the 64 quality scriptural proofs we have been seeing up till now. We began with this beautiful limbed, then Sarva Lakshananvita, and then like that we went on Satyavakya, Vavudhaka, many qualities we went on, and we have come now, Daksha also we convert, Kritagya, gratitude, and Sudrida Vrata also we did last class, and Deshakala Su Patragya, very beautiful this, we discussed this quality. Shastra Chakshu, he sees everything from the light of scripture. Suchi, and Shuchi has two, Pavana and Vishuddha. And we saw both the references for that, Pavana and Vishuddha. And now today we will begin this 22nd quality, that is Vashi. Vashi Jitendriya Proktaha, a subjugator is one, Vashi Prokta, who controls his senses. Jita Indriya. So Jita and Indriya means Jitendriya. That's how, by the combination of the Sandhi it has happened. So Jita means conquered. What? Indriya. senses. So one who subjugates his senses, he's called as Vashi. So that's the definition of Vashi. Let's see the Praman, Yata Pramad Prathame in the first canto. Uddham Bhava Pishunamala Valguhasa Vikridavalokanhito Madanopi Yasyam Sammohya Chapam Ajahat Pramodattamasta Yasendriyam Vimatvam Kuhaker Nasheku. So this is in the first canto. Although the queen's beautiful smiles, Valguhasya, and furtive glances. Furtive glances means Vikrid Avaloka, playful glances, were all spotless and exciting. Pishuna Amala, and signified deep love, Uddhama Bhava, and although they could conquer Cupid himself, Nihito Madonopi Yasyam, by making him give up his bow in frustration. Sammoha Chapam Ajahata. Other women who approached Krishna with false smiles and glances, Pramaduttamasta Kuhekir, could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Yasindriyanam Vimatthum Nasheko. So the beautiful queens, by their genuine love, they were able to, by their prema, conquer the Lord. It felt that the Lord was, completely subjugated by his wives. But that was out of prema. But those who were other women who approached Krishna with false smiles, false glances, they could not agitate the senses of Krishna. That's the point being made here. Okay, let's see Jeev Goswami's commentary on this. Cupid, Madana, was smitten by the queen's smiles and bashful glances. Hasya Vikrid Avaloka, indicating Pishuna, deep love, Uddhama Bhava, which were pure and attractive. Amalavalgu, it is pure and attractive. Remember this. It's not the smile out of material attraction based on Kamadev, Cupid. The strength of Cupid's weapons, which caused desire, disappeared on seeing the queen's intense love. So the strength of the Cupid's weapons, the 5 arrows, they disappeared on seeing the queen's love, because this is arising from prema and not from kama. This means that being bewildered, he did not use his bow for firing arrows to inflame passion. Sammoha chapam ajahat. So the Cupid, uh, he was also bewildered, and he could not use his arrows to, inflame the passion of Krishna. Cannot act. Thus, it is also said, Bruhu Pallamam Dhanur Apanga Tarangitani Vanaha. Their brows were bows, and their glances were the arrows. Gita Govinda. So, the brows, which are above the eyes, they are like the bows. There is the arrow, bow and arrow. And the glances are the arrows, the glances. So that is how powerful in the material world the brow and the glances are. And that's why, to become free from this kama, Cupid arrows, when we take darshan of the Lord's deity, we should see the eyebrows of the Lord, so that we don't get attracted by the glances and the arrows of the Cupid in this material world. This is an image to show the great attractiveness of the queens. Such queens had reached the most excellent position by their display of bliss arising from their exalted prema. Pramaduttama. So this is prema, this is arising of prema, and the Lord was completely under their control. But the Lord was not controlled by their, he was controlled by their prema and not, otherwise. In their group, some women desiring a position similar to those queens who had a high level of spontaneous prema could not bewilder the senses of Krishna to the same degree as the queens did with their smiles and glances, which were somewhat false because of lacking the prema of the exalted queens. Kuhake. Kuhake means it is false. So some women, they wanted the same position as the queens, but they did not have that prema. They could not bewilder Krishna. And Krishna becoming controlled by the queen's prema is not because of kama, but it is of prema. It is because of prema. Like Krishna was controlled by Arjuna. Senayor ubhayor madhe, ratam stapayame chuta. And Krishna followed the orders. So it seems like Krishna was controlled by Arjuna, but Krishna was controlled by Arjuna's prema. Out of prema, he followed those orders as a chariot driver because he had. So, such is the deep love of Arjuna for Krishna. So, and what to speak of the queens of Dwarka. However, they could not bewilder the senses of Krishna according to their level of prema. Prabhupada makes it still more clear in his purport, self-controlled. A person who can control his senses fully is called Vashi or self-controlled. In this connection, it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the 16,000 wives of Krishna were so exquisitely beautiful that their smiling and shyness were able to captivate the mind of great demigods like Lord Shiva. But still, they could not even agitate the mind of Krishna in spite of their attractive feminine behavior. Every one of the thousands of queens of Krishna, wives of Krishna, were thinking that Krishna was captivated by her feminine beauty. But this was not the case. So they were thinking like that. They were Krishna is captivated by their feminine beauty, but that was not the case. He was captivated because of their pure prema. Krishna is therefore called the supreme controller of the senses, and this is admitted in the Bhagavad Gita, where he is addressed as Rishikesh, the master of the senses. So Krishna, Prabhupada is giving an additional reference from the Bhagavad Gita to show how Krishna is the master of the senses. Rishika and Isha. Rishika means the senses and Isha means the controller or the master of the senses. Okay, so I'll go to the next quality, quality 23. If you have any questions during this discussion, I'll just go one after the other quality. If you feel that you have any questions or clarifications, you're free to raise your hands. Stira. Apahalo dayakrit stiraha. He is called stira or persevering, who works steadily until realizing his goals. Apahalo the yakrita. So one should work steadily until he realizes his goals. That is called as steadiness. So this steadiness, in which stage of bhakti among the 9 stages is steadiness spoken about? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Which stage of bhakti is this spoken about? Steadiness. Anyone has any idea? Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is it Nishta Prabhuji?
Yes, exactly. It is Nishtha. So we cannot practice our bhakti very steadily because Devasayatmika buddhi is not there. You know? Our mind is multi-branched, going in different directions because of desires. And that is a battle till Anarth Nivritti happens. So once we attain the stage of Nishta, then we are very steady in our goal that as long as we don't attain love, we are focused. So we have to come to the platform of Nishta. And then we attain that steadiness quality, what Krishna also has. One who is at the stage of Nishta is highly determined to, you know, execute his bhajan. Esham to antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam drida vrata. So in the Bhagavad Gita, I'm just showing the verse 728, I guess. Esham to antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridvata. So Esham to antagatam papam refers to, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu in one sense. Dvanda mohena. You're not bewildered now by the yadate moha kalilam buddhi vati tarishati. Tata gandhasti nirvedam shrotavya shrutasya cha. As in the Bhagavad Gita also 2.52 it is said. So any other verse, where one performs his bhajan very, very determinedly, Dridhavrata? Any other verse in the Gita, if anyone remembers? It speaks about high level of steadiness. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Tirthpat Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Mahaprabhu. No Prabhu.
Which verse from the Gita speaks about Dridhavrata, steadiness? We quoted one verse, 7.21. Anyone else? Govinda Prabhuji. Your audio seems to be not working. Yes, Priya Mataji. Yes, Mataji, I've unmuted you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 9.14 Satatam Kirtayanto Mam
Exactly.
Yatantash.
Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavata namashyante tu mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. And the previous verse, it is mentioned, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritimashita bhajanti ananya manuso gyatva bhutadimam. So because they are under the internal energy, that's why the material energy doesn't bewilder them. And these are great souls. And that's why yatantasya dridhavrata. With deep determination, they do their bhajan. So this is, you can say, at a very exalted level. Even at Nishta, it is Dridhavrata. But this is speaking of one who is taken completely under the shelter of the internal potency. You can say that as Bhava stage. So both are Dridhavrata. So that kind of steadiness to attain the goal is one of the qualities which Krishna has. Let us see the verse. I'll just read the translation. Yata Krishna Murari did not loathe wandering in the forest looking for the Samantak jewel, Nirvedam Apana Vana Brahmane, and did not consider fear of entering the cave of Jambavan. Na chintayat Vasanam Vriksha Vi Vila Pravesha. Vila means, I think, the cave. Taking the jewel, Arita Hanta Manim Eva, he returned to Dwarka, Puram Prapayade. Those of steady intelligence persevere in their work, Syad Udyama Krita Diyam, until attaining the result. He follow Dayanta. Phala, Daya means giving, Anta, until you get that Phala. So here Krishna, until he got the Samatak jewel, he steadily pursued. So this is one of the quality a devotee should develop. Prabhupada, a person who continues to work until his desired goal is achieved is called steadfast. There was a fight between Krishna and King Jambavan, and Krishna was to take the valuable Samantak jewel from the king. The king tried to hide himself in the forest, but Krishna would not become discouraged. Krishna finally got the jewel by seeking out the king with great steadfastness. Okay. Dantah. Danta means patient. Sadanto dussaham api yogyam klesha saheta yaha. A person who endures yaha saheta, difficult but necessary suffering, dussahayam api yogyam klesha, is called patient. Sahadanto. So here it is very important we mark this point that one should not endeavor difficulty which is unnecessary. Unnecessary austerity. Sometimes, politicians do austerity or fasting for some ulterior purpose. But fasting for the Lord's pleasure and feasting on the holy name and Shastra is, it's a klesha on the body. There is suffering, and one has to endure it. Like sometimes we go on holy places, pilgrimage, and we have to climb maybe 100 steps or 200 steps, or in Tirupati Balaji, it is 8 or 9,000 steps. Sometimes in the Himalayas, we go for yatras, and we have to endure the cold, the heat, the rain. But all that we are doing, so that we can purify the body and ultimately go and have darshan of the Lord. So it is mentioned that by wandering in the holy places, especially of Lord Krishna's pastimes, one becomes purified of the Raja and Tama, and the heart becomes purified, Chitta, so that the Lord can reside in the heart. So one who endures difficult but necessary suffering, Klesha, is called patient, Danto. यथा गुरुम अपि गुरुवास क्लेशम अव्यजा भक्त्या हरिर अजगनत अंत कोमलांगोपि नायम प्रकृतिरति दूहुरा हंत लोकुत्तारणम किमपि मनसि चित्रम चिंतयमान तनोति. Though Krishna's body was very soft, Harir Ajaganad Anta Komalangopi, he did not consider in his heart Nayam, the intolerable difficulties, Prakritir Ati Duruha Hanta Lokuttaranam, of living at the house of the Guru. Gurumapi Guru Vasa Klesham, because of his sincere devotion, Avyaja Bhaktya. One becomes amazed on contemplating Kimapi Manasi Chitram, the inscrutable character of extraordinary people. Chintyamana Tanoti. Forbearing. Prabhupada says this as forbearing. A person who tolerates all kinds of troubles, even though such troubles appear to be unbearable, is called forbearing. When Krishna was residing at the place of his spiritual master, he did not mind taking all troubles in rendering service to his Guru, although his body was very soft and delicate. It is the duty of the disciple to execute all services under the spiritual master despite all kinds of difficulties. The disciple living at the residence of the spiritual master has to go begging from door to door and brings everything back to the spiritual master. When prasad is being served, the spiritual master is supposed to call each and every disciple to come and eat. If by chance the spiritual master forgets to call a disciple to partake of the prasad, it is enjoined in the scriptures that the student should fast on that day rather than accept food on his own initiative. There are many such strictures. Sometimes also Krishna went to the forest to collect dry wood for fuel. So here it is mentioned Saheta, quality of forbearing or tolerating. Where also uh, uh, in other works of our Gaudiya literature is Saheta mentioned. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Saheta, where it is mentioned. Saheta, where it is mentioned. Anyone knows? It's a famous work of Rupa Goswami again. Saheta. Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Not remembering, Prabhu.
Nectar of Devotion. I'm giving you a hint. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivva Vegam, Udarapastha Vegam, Etan Vegan Yo Vishahet Dhira. Vishaet Dhira. Sarvam Apimam Prithvim Sa Shishyat. So there Saheta has come. So very important. Not only we should tolerate the difficulties on the body, but the urges also we should be able to tolerate. So here I'm showing the verse Vishaheta. Saheta is there. Can tolerate, tolerance, forbearing. So Visaheta. Saheta is there. Visaheta means Vishesh Rupena Saheta. One who can particularly tolerate these Vegas. So that is the point being mentioned. And it is also Madhyamadikari who can tolerate his senses and mind. And then he becomes qualified to take up to Shuddha Bhakti. So this is one of the important qualities. And as long as one is not able to control the Vegas, his bhakti is still mixed. It is not pure. Very clearly, acharyas bring out this point. Okay. 25. Shamashila. Shamashilo aparadhanam sahana parikriyate. A person who endures the offenses of others, aparadhanam sahana, is called tolerant. Shamashilo parikirtayet. Yatha Magya Kave. An example from Shishupal Vadya, Magya Kavya. Magya Kavya, I don't know what exactly it is. Though Shishupal criticized Krishna hundreds of times, Shapamanaya Chedi Bhubrute. Krishna, Keshava, did not give any response. Na adatta prativacham. Though the lion replies to the thunder, Anuhunkarute Ghana Dhwani, it does not pay attention to the howl of a jackal. Nahi Gomayu Rutani Kesari. So the lion replies to the thunder and not to the howl of a jackal. So this criticism, any type of criticism, is like uh, the howling of the jackals. So the tiger doesn't give any, any. It is not bothered. Only he will respond to, the thunder. A person who can tolerate all kinds of offenses. One second. There is stuck up. Yeah. All kinds of offenses from the opposite party is known to be forgiving. Lord Krishna's forgiving quality is described in the Shishupala Vada in connection with his forbidding the killing of Shishupal. King Shishupal was a monarch of the Chedi kingdom, and although he happened to be the cousin of Krishna's, he was always envious of him. Whenever they would meet, Shishupal would try to insult Krishna and call him ill names as much as possible. In the arena of Rajasuya sacrifice of Maharaj Yudhishthira, when Shishupal began to call Lord Krishna ill names, Krishna did not care and remained silent. Some of the people at the arena were prepared to kill Shishupal, but Krishna restricted them. He was so forgiving. It is said that when there is a thundering sound in the clouds, the mighty lion immediately replies with his thundering roar. But the lion doesn't care when all the foolish jackals begin to make their less important sounds. Okay, there is another example, proof given. Yata va Yamunacharya Stotre. Yamunacharya Stotra. I'll read the translation. O Ramchandra, best of the Raghu dynasty, Raghuvara, you are so merciful to the crow which pecked Sita's breast. Yad abustvam tadrisho vyas vyaya sasya. But which then offered respects to you. Pranata iti. O Krishna, Krishna, so forgetful of other sins, Dayalur Yatcha Chaidasya, you gave attractive impersonal liberation to Shishupal. Mugdo Sayujyado Abhur, who offended you may for many lifetimes. Pratibhavam Aparadur. Tell me what offense exists in him. Vadakim apadam aghatastasya that you would not tolerate. Te asti shamayaha. So there is a comparison done in the Stotaratna of Yamunacharya. Stotaratna is a work of Yamunacharya from the Sri Sampradaya, where there is beautiful glorification of the Lord and wonderful qualities, and especially of humility. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, especially in his Bhajan Rahasya, and even in his Shikshashtakam commentary, Trinadapi Sunichena, he refers to many of the shlokas from the Stotaratna. And especially, I think it is Kalyana Kalpataru, a bhajan book written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where for every verse of the Stotaratna, uh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has composed a song explaining that entire verse of humility, Dainya Bhav. So this is one Stotratna verse of Yamunacharya, where the tolerance of Ramchandra, when Sita's breast were pecked by a crow, but since it offered respects, Lord tolerated that. And Krishna was more merciful. Chaitya, he forgot all the sins and gave him impersonal liberation. Here it is mentioned Shayuja. But actually, Shishupal, everyone saw in that Rajasuya Yagya that Shishupal's soul entered into the body of Krishna. So he did not attain impersonal liberation, for your kind information. Usually the demons killed, most of the times attain impersonal liberation. Very exceptional attain, like, Putana attained Dhatri, the nurse in the spiritual world. Sayuja can mean impersonal liberation and union also. Sa-yuj. Yuj means to link. Sa-yuj. So Sayuj can mean that also. So he got actually a personal liberation in one sense. Here it is mentioned, but again, in some of the other works, it is very clearly Vishwanath Chakra Thakur brings out that he did not merge in the body, although his soul merged in the body, everyone saw, but he became united with the Lord back because they were Jay and Vijay, so they went back to the spiritual world. So that is the deeper meaning. Okay, let's see now Jiva Goswami's commentary. This is the second example of tolerance. There should be a conclusion after all the insults of Shishupal mentioned in the previous verse. Not only simply tolerance, since it is difficult to tolerate loud banging sounds, and thus this verse explains that Krishna liberated him. The reference of committing offenses for many lives, Pratibhavam, indicates that Krishna is superior to Rama because Krishna liberated him. So that bird was actually Indra in disguise. He was not liberated, but Krishna liberated. So this is the merciful quality of Krishna. Note, Jayanta, son of Indra, took the form of a crow and pecked her breast. And Rama sent his arrows after the crow. The crow finally surrendered to Rama and lost only his right eye. Prabhupada, Sri Yamunacharya praises Krishna's power of forgiveness with the following statement: My dear Lord Premtara, you are so merciful to have excused the crow's clawing on the nipples of Janaki simply because of his bowing down before you. Once Indra, the king of heaven, assumed the form of a crow and attacked Sita, Janaki, Lord Ramchandra's wife, by striking her on the breast. This was certainly an insult to the universal mother Sita, and Lord Ramchandra was immediately prepared to kill the crow. But because later on the crow bowed down before the Lord excused his offense. Sri Yamunacharya further says in his prayer that the forgiving power of Lord Krishna is even greater than that Lord of Ramchandra, because Shishupal was always in the habit of insulting Krishna, not only in one lifetime, but continually throughout 3 lives. Still, Krishna was so kind, he gave Shishupal the salvation of merging in his existence. From this, we can understand that the goal of the monist to merge into the effulgence of the Supreme is not a very difficult problem. Persons like Shishupal who are consistently inimical to Lord Krishna can also get this liberation. But of course, the deeper meaning is not brought out here, but it is brought out in other works, and I explained that. Okay, up till now, any questions, any clarifications? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so let's continue. Gambiran. Gambira. So, Gambira. Gambira means very grave. Durvi bodasyayo yastu sa gambira itiryate. A person whose intentions are difficult to comprehend. Durvibodasyayo yastu is called inscrutable. Sa gambira itiryate. whose intentions are very difficult to comprehend. He's Gambhir. His thought is as deep as an ocean, and we cannot go so deep to understand. यथा वृंदावने वराभि स्तुतिभिर् नितराम उपास्यमानोऽपि शक्तो न हरिर् विधीयन रुस्तस्तुष्टो अथवा ज्ञातुम. When Brahma worshipped Krishna by offering the best praises in Vrindavan, Krishna remained silent. Vrindavano varabhi sutibir nitaram upasimanopi. Brahma offered his prayers. Brahma could not understand. Shakto na gyatum vidina. If Krishna was satisfied or angry with him, Hari rushtas tushto atava. Whether is satisfied or no, just could not make out. In fact, the demeanor of a person is very, very important. If you smile, you can understand you're happy, and you're internally lost in depression. You don't smile. you know and you're withdrawn yourself, so you can understand all these. The facial impressions uh can bring out what is the mood and what is the intention and what is going on in the mind of others. And some who can read this are very experts. And the Sanskrit term I'm not able to remember now, but it is called as physiognomy. Physiognomy is understanding the personality of a person just by his physical features and also by his facial expressions. Many things you can read and understand. But Krishna was just so gambhir. He just did not respond anything. He just did not smile, nothing. So Brahma also could not understand what is happening, whether Krishna is satisfied or no, or still angry. The prayers of Brahma have been clearly stated. Brahma could not understand whether Krishna was angry or satisfied with him by offering those prayers. Yathava, another example. Though Krishna, while lifting Govardhan hill, was intoxicated, Unmadopi Harir, with the new liquor of Radha's love, Navya Radha Pranaya Sindhuna, even omniscient Balram, Abhignenapi Ramena, could not notice any indications of change. Lakshito yam avikriya. So there was no vikar in Krishna, but Krishna was intoxicated with the liquor of the love of Radha's love. But still, Balram is not ordinary, he's omniscient Balram. You can understand that. So he could not understand any change. So you can imagine how deep and gambhir he was. Grave. A person who does not express his mind to everyone or whose mental activity and plan of action are very difficult to understand is called grave. After Lord Krishna had been offended by Brahma, Brahma prayed to him to be excused. But in spite of his offering nice prayers to Krishna, Brahma could not understand whether Krishna was satisfied or still dissatisfied. In other words, Krishna was so grave that he could not take the prayers of Brahma very seriously. Actually, all the acharyas mention, what is going on, after Brahma is offering his prayers and he's bewildered, from all these four faces, tears are coming and Krishna is just not responding. And Krishna is saying when this prayers will get over and I can go and play with my friends, because Krishna was holding that curd rice in his left hand still. So he did not just bother only, that was the depth of gravity he had. Another instance of Krishna's gravity is found in connection with his love affairs with Radharani. Krishna was always very silent about his love affairs with Radharani, so much so that Baldev, Krishna's elder brother and constant companion, could not understand the transformations of Krishna on account of his gravity. So this is a very important quality we should try to, these qualities automatically manifest with the practice of Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti, but sometimes we need to work on it. I mean, we need to not really work on each of the qualities, because with the practice of Shuddha Bhakti, it comes out very clearly. It is stated in the Shastra. Like, how do we uh, uh, practice gravity? Anyone knows? Think about it. How do we practice gravity? Anyone? Think about it. Very, very important quality, this gravity. One should have gravity. One should be grave and not. Anyone would like to? Think about it. Yes. Subiksha Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, one of the examples of practicing gravity is like in a forum when someone have been laughed upon or something like that, but we feel that no, it is not correct. We should have that gravity or graveness that we do not laugh on that person if the situation calls for it.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, uh, can it be that we do not get too excited in any situation and just
Yes,
speak?
yes, yes. All these emotions, sukha, dukkha, mana, apamana, as Prabhuji also quoted, you know, when we are samatvam, that mental equanimity, when we get, that is called as yoga, Krishna says. So I'm showing some references. Actually, Maunam Atma Vinigraha, it's, Maunam Atma Vinigraha. This is Mana Prasadat Saumyatvam, Maunam Atma Vinigraha. Prabhupada in the translation says, to make the mind austere is to detach it from sense relation. It should be so trained that it always thinks of doing good for others. So mind training is the best training of the mind is gravity in thought. You think on Shastra and go deeper in that thinking, deeper in thinking, that is how, that is the training of the mind for gravity. So this is one reference which I was looking for. And there is one in the uh, first canto, 9th chapter. Yes. All these qualities, which we are speaking now is there. Here it is there. Talkativeness can be avoided by gravity and silence. So this is, too much talking, is, not good. Maintaining silence is best. By gravity and silence, talkativeness. This is a very important quality one should develop. In this verse, all these qualities are mentioned in this Dana Dharma, Jnana, Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma in the first canto, 9th chapter, verse 27. Many qualities are mentioned. Uh, Here, I can say, yeah, salvation, one has to conquer lust. To get freedom from anger, one should learn to forgive. And to become free from natural desires, one should not make plans. By spiritual culture, getting up early in the morning, conquer sleep. By tolerance, one can conquer desire and avarice. So all this is mentioned. So one has to work on these qualities, one has to reflect and contemplate. This is a very important quality, silence. Dhritimana. Purna spruhascha dhritimana shantas na shobha karane. A person who is fully satisfied in his desires, purna spruhascha, or who is peaceful, shantascha, fully satisfied in his desires, or who is peaceful. There are two. When there is a cause for agitation by control of his mind, shobha karane, shobha means shobha, there's agitation, is called steadfast. Dhritiman is called as steadfast. Now let's see the example. Jiva Goswami, Dhriti steady names means control of the mind. One who satisfied spruha because of attaining all desirable objects, purna, is called purna spruha. One who has attained the Lord, he has attained everything. Yastu atmarati sevasyat atmatriptasya manava atmanneva atmana tushtak tasya karya vidyate. Why does one do any karya, action? Because he has desires. But one who is atma trupta, atma santushta, he doesn't act because there is nothing he needs to fulfill. So he's self-satisfied. So this is at the highest level, one who is, practicing save pumsan paro dharma yato bhaktir adokshaje ahetuki apratiyata yenatma
Atma Suprasiddha.
suprasidati. So this is one quality, suprasidati. So that is the quality of Shuddha Bhakti. He is fully satisfied within himself. A person who is endowed with steadiness of mind caused by being fully satisfied in his desires is thus called Dhritiman. A person is also called Dhritiman who is peaceful, Shanta, without agitation by achieving the control of the mind, even in the absence of achieving all desires. So where is this, quality also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita? There is one full verse when the term is also used as Shanta. Even though so many desires come to him, he's Shanta and he doesn't go after those desires. Where in the Bhagavad Gita is this mentioned? Anyone think about it? Where in the Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned? Anyone? Not even one. Okay. Govinda Prabhuji.
It is mentioned in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
What
Samudram
verse?
Abam, like the ocean.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Apurymanam achalam pratishtam samudramapam pravishanti yadvad tadvad kamana pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kamakami. Shanti mapnoti na kamakami. So that was the point I wanted to make here. Prabhupada, self-satisfied. A person who is fully satisfied himself without any hankering and who is not agitated even in the presence of serious cause for distress is called self-satisfied. Tatra adyo. So the first example, the fully satisfied person is illustrated in the following. Though Krishna, Kamsarir, is found of fame, Swikurvan api nitaram yasha priyatvam, he gave Swayam Adatta that incomparable fame, Atulam Kirtim, to Bhimaya, in the killing of Jarasandh. Magadha Pater Vada Prasiddham. What remains to be desired? Kim Apekshayam, by those of superior character. Lokuttaram Guna Shalinam. So Krishna is fond of fame because it's one of the qualities among the Shadaishwarya. Atulam Kirtim. But he gave that to Bhima so that Bhima can get that fame of killing Jarasandh. So this is the quality of Krishna. Being satisfied in all desires will be indicated in this verse by the words of those possessing superior character. Lokuttara Guna Shalinam. Though he is satisfied in all his desires, it should be understood that Krishna actually gave his fame to Bhima because of his unconditional affection for Bhima. Without this quality of affection, all other qualities become worthless. Since a person shows unconditional affection only for those who surrender, the Lord shows unconditional affection for the devotees who surrender unconditionally. The Lord's fondness for fame arises only in order to give happiness to those devotees out of his affection. So the Lord's fondness is not for any material purpose as we have, but to give happiness to his devotees out of affection for the Lord. The devotees gain intense bliss by appreciating that fame of the Lord. Then the Lord transfers his own fame to the devotees. In this way, from his fondness for fame, full satisfaction is accomplished. So Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. His fame is spread now everywhere. Gaur Nitai have been established everywhere, and they have been established in every nook and corner of this planet Earth. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself preached this Hare Krishna movement, Krishna consciousness, by traveling 6 years in South India and in Vrindavan. But the Lord gave his own fame to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada by allowing him to spread not only in India but all over the world. And for 11 years, Prabhupada preached. And Gaur Nitai are known in this world only because of Prabhupada. So the Lord gave his own fame to Srila Prabhupada out of his so much deep affection for Srila Prabhupada. Because of Srila Prabhupada's, again, deep unconditional love and surrender to his Lord. So that is how the loving reciprocation happens between the Lord and his devotees. Amazing quality. An example of Krishna's self-satisfaction was exhibited when he, Arjuna, and Bhima went to challenge Jarasan, the formidable king of Magadha, and Krishna gave all credit to Bhima for killing of Jarasan. From this, we can understand that Krishna never cares at all for fame, although no one can be more famous. Dvitiyo Yatha, the second example of peace, peaceful, Shanta, in spite of causes of agitation. Sa Shanti Mapnoti na Kamakami. In spite of being rebuked by Shishupal, Nindatasya Damagosha Sunanuna, and being praised by the sages, Sam Brahmaina Munibi Stutasya cha, in the assembly of Rajasuya sacrifice, Rajasuya Sadasi, Krishna showed such steadiness, Shiti Sware, that the kings present could not detect any change in Krishna's appearance. Kwapi Nasya Vikirtir Vitarkita. He was rebuked by Shishupal and praised by the sages. Absolutely, in both the conditions, Krishna was steady. There is absolutely no change in him. My goodness, what a quality this is. Huh? Mana apamano tulya. That is the quality Krishna also mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. I think tulya ninda stuti muvana. जितात्मन प्रशांतस्य परमात्मा समाहित शीतोष्ण सुख दुख तथा मान अपमानयो. Man and apaman. Mana means honor and apamana means dishonor. So he was honored by the sages and dishonored by the Shishupal, but still he remained steady. And where else in this quality is mentioned in the Gita? Anyone knows any other verse in the Gita which mentions this quality? Being steady in both honor and dishonor? Yes. Subhikshra Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhu, chapter 2, that Sitoshno Sukha Dukkada Agama Payano Nityas.
Ram Tatikshra Seva. Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada. There is one more specific verse, and that is in the 12th chapter of the Gita, when Krishna speaks about the qualities. Man apamano tulya, something it is there. This is Yasmin. No. यो न हर्षति न द्वेष्टि न सोचति न कांक्ष शुभा शुभा परित्यागो भक्तिमान यस समशत्रु च मित्रे तथा मान अपमानयो. Yes, this is the verse I was looking for. समशत्रु च मित्रे च तथा मान अपमानयो शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु samasanga vivarjita. So sukha dukkeshu, there is equanimity for a sthita pragya who has done nishkama karma yoga and attains Sthita Pragya. So definitely in a pure devotee, he is also Sthita Pragya only, but much, much higher. So there is a deeper quality mentioned here. So all these qualities which are there in the Gita, they definitely refer to different categories of devotees, a Sthita Pragya, a Jnani, a Yogi, but the highest qualities of the Bhakta are mentioned here. So these are the topmost qualities. Tulya Ninda Stutir Mauni. Tulya in Ninda and Stuti. So this is the Mauni. He is silent, completely silent. What is Mauni here? Uh, Silent, yes. Silence, maintaining silence. Silence is the most powerful weapon. One should use it very judiciously. Krishna's lack of response also applies to his hearing the praises by the sages. Thus, this is not an example of inscrutability or concealment of feelings, which has already been discussed. Because in both, the sages were devotees, and thus they would be pleased internally and externally with whatever the Lord did. The difference between inscrutability and steadiness is that in inscrutability, there is concealment of feelings, and in steadiness, there is absence of feelings. So this is the difference. There is a concealment of the feelings, what we are going through. But in steadiness, there's no feelings. There is absence of feelings. The kings could not detect any change in Krishna, either of anger at the criticism of by Shishupal or of satisfaction by the praises of the sages. Previously, in describing inscrutability, Krishna had feelings of love in his heart, but Balram could not detect that. So there were feelings of love, but here there were absence of feelings, completely neutral. So Prabhupada mentions this one quality is very, very difficult. And that is there in the 6th chapter, verse, I think, Surin Mitra Ari Udasina Madhyastha Dvesha Bandhushu Sadhushu Chapapa Sama Buddhi Vishishyate. To maintain equanimity of mind and intelligence here, Surin Mitra Ari Udasin. Madhyastha Dvesha Bandhushu. Sadhushu Chave Papashu. To sadhu also, your sama. To papesh also your sama. To friends and mitra and ari. So this is not so easy quality problem. Person is still conferred when he grants, regards honest, well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, neutral, mediators, envious friends, and with an equal mind. So this is a very important quality, that steadiness of the mind is very important. In this case, however, neither anger nor joy appeared in Krishna. There are no feelings which appeared. There was concealment of feelings of love, but still it was not detected by Balram there. That is the difference between steadiness and inscrutability. So that is, an example of his being not disturbed was shown when Shishupal began to call him all ill names. All the kings and the brahmanas assembled at the sacrificial arena of Maharaj became perturbed and immediately wanted to satisfy Krishna by offering nice prayers. But all these kings and brahmanas could not discover any disturbance in Krishna's person. So that is regarding the quality of Dhritiman, Purnaspruhas and Shanta. I hope the difference you understood between the two, both because quotations were given of Shishupal, but there is a lot of difference again. Okay, so we will stop here. Any questions, any clarifications? We are steadily going through all these qualities and you're steadily attending. That is very nice. And this will continue. The discussion is going to continue. We are on the 20, we are on the right now, 28th quality, and still we have 64 qualities to go. So it's a long discussion which is going to come up. So kindly be patient and tolerant and tolerate me also. And as I mentioned, please reflect through all these qualities which Krishna has. Do this as a meditation in your sadhana, and just like gratitude, work on this, like prayers of gratitude before chanting the holy names, offering of gratitude to devotees, genuinely from the heart. And slowly, we should, come to this point where ultimately we can, these qualities manifest in us. These qualities manifest when one comes to the platform of Shuddha Bhakti, because after Kleshagni is Shubhada. So when Shubhada, auspicious qualities start automatically manifesting. Okay, any questions, any clarifications you have? Okay, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.